we both slept soundly and woke around about 7:30 with the sun streaming through the wooden shutters, which was a really nice experience. And then looking out and around the town from the window, you could see it had already sprung into life with numerous ferries going around their business, and the town seemed actually quite busy to us.
Yes, it's been raining here this morning in Oban.
But we had a lovely sleep last night.
We did.
Really enjoyable. We've just had a really nice breakfast as
Very
well.
nice. I actually tried some proper Scottish haggis for the first time.
It was gorgeous.
And it was very nice. It was a little bit spicy for first thing in the morning for breakfast for me, but it was very nice.
I like spice. And it was nice. Alongside everything else, the rest of the breakfast, it was absolutely gorgeous. But you're not so keen on a spicy breakfast?
Not for breakfast, you know.
Our next door neighbour isn't very keen on spicy breakfast. He went off to India and complained that all he had
for spicy was breakfast, spicy for lunch and spicy, but then you would.
Yeah, but still. So today is Embarkation Day, so that's going to prove a little bit different and a bit interesting.
Because we're used to big ships, so the ship tour is going to be very quick.
We'll probably have to combine the ship tour, the room tour, and the tour of the town, you know.
And still a bit worried about getting on that little boat that's at the back. But you know, if I have to stay on board, then I'll get to know the crew very well. So.
Or something like that. But no, I mean, it's going to be something completely different to anything that we've done before. You know?
Yeah.
So I think the plan is we're going to check out the hotel.
Yeah, in a minute.
Then we have a little car parking place a couple of miles up the road where we drop the car off. And they arrange a cab to take us back to the town. We're going to have a look around the town. Hopefully it won't be raining then. And then we get on the boat at about 3 o'clock. And we'll see what that
Sail
entails.
away at 4.
Sail away at 4.
I don't think there's going to be a sail away party like they normally have on the big cruise ship. Oh, I think, mind you, probably get a glass of bubbly, I think.
They gave a glass of bubbly on, well, they did on the Jane MacDonald programme, you know. But how real that is against the...
If anybody wants to have a look at that, actually, it's if you look on YouTube, Jane MacDonald does cruising. It's the Majestic Line. It's about an hour long, but it's the actual ship and everything that we are going on. But I'm sure we'll do a very good video though as well on YouTube.
Yeah, so the other thing is you can stay tuned to this channel to find out actually what the cruise is like.
Yes, because we'll give a whatever, you know, good or bad, we will say definitely.
But this is definitely something that we've never done anything like before.
No.
And it remains to be seen whether we'll do anything like it
again.
So we'll take you along with us. Overlooking Oban is McCaig's Folly, built by the art critic John Stuart McCaig in the late part of the 19th century. It provided work during times of unemployment within the town. Folks, if you're enjoying watching this vlog, then we'd really appreciate it if you would hit the like button. If you'd like to see some more of what we get up to, then please subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you. So just behind the Oban Times is the Oban War and Peace Museum. Staffed entirely by volunteers, it's free to come in at any point in time between 10 o'clock and 4 o'clock, 7 days a week. Interesting museum. It covers everything from Oban during the World War II, where Australian, Canadian and American troops were all located here. It covers things such as the McCabe's Folly, and it also looks at the rich fishing and trawler industry that exists within the town. Their interest to me was the section of the museum that showed the submarine transatlantic communications cable that was laid in the late 50s. Oban was the UK termination point for the link to Newfoundland. We spotted the ship from the hotel this morning, and we think it may be the Kentallen, which is the ship that we're going on. With some time still to kill, we decided that we would walk further north around the remaining part of the horseshoe and take in the views that we saw. There seem to be quite a few churches and cathedrals up this way. The seafront has that really nice rugged look with lots of stones on the beach. Not good for sunbathing, but actually look really attractive in this setting. So, located on the northern point of the horseshoe in Oban is St Columba's Cathedral, a Catholic cathedral which was built around 1932. Well, at least the foundation stone was laid in 1932. The actual building wasn't completed until 1952. So we'd now walked along the whole of the seafront, and it was sort of fast approaching the time that we needed to get back and get ready for embarkation. Oban is a fishing town that's moved heavily into the tourist industry, a bit like where we come from, which is Brixham. Always seems to be something going on here. The ferries are extremely active and carting tourists off and residents off to the various islands around the coastline. It has a lovely backdrop of the isles themselves and a very rugged coastline, making it a really attractive setting. Hello folks.
Hello.
It's us. It's future us.
It is.
It's really hard on the boat to actually have a talk to camera. There just isn't the space or the privacy to do it, and there's a bit of motion which would add an interesting dimension to it all, you know. So really difficult. So we decided that we would do our talks to camera when we got back home. So hopefully you like the new format, and we still provide you with a level of interest in what we've got up to and what went on. Now in this section we're going to cover off 2 points. The first will be what we thought of the cruise and the Majestic Line, which is the company that runs the cruise, and the second point will be the remainder of the day in this particular episode of the vlogs that we're doing. So we'll start off with what we thought of the cruise and then work into the other piece. So the cruise, what was good about the cruise?
So the cruise was exactly as we thought it would be, actually. The boat was exactly how we thought it was going to be. The cabin was exactly how we thought it was going to be.
One thing I would say, you needed a little bit more dexterity to get in and out of the bathroom than I expected. But apart from that, it was exactly what I expected.
Sort of sideways on, sitting on the loo. But yeah, everything was expected. The scenery was absolutely magnificent.
And the wildlife was really good as well.
We had some encounters with dolphins and that were...
And puffins.
Out of this world.
Yeah.
So...
And that's why one of the key reasons we went. To see the wildlife, to see the puffins. And we booked, I don't know, 2-3 years ago. It was something we really, really wanted to do. Then obviously COVID and whatever. But, finally we get on it. And one of the things that we were worried about before we actually came on the cruise was whether or not small boat cruising was for us. Mm-hmm. We both like our own space. We know that people don't like to have people with cameras filming the whole time, and therefore...
And we had to talk about it before we went, to say that we weren't going to get the cameras out all the time, because people don't like being on film, and I was a bit worried about that, but I think we managed it okay, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we did, and the crew were really nice, One of the things of interest around Scotland is all the history, and there was one member of the crew, particularly Alan, who was the engineer. He had his little crib cards, didn't he? Which was his way of actually telling us the facts of what was going on.
Some wonderful stories and things were really...
And that actually really made it for us. It was fantastic in that respect. Yeah. One of the better sides that I hadn't expected. As I said, the interactions with the other guests were much better than we expected.
Yes.
We were worried, we were concerned that because we had a camera, people might take exception to it. Mm-hmm. We were worried that with only 10 people, cruisers, including us, and such a small boat, there was nowhere to get any privacy. And within bounds, you could. It wasn't that. You just couldn't do a vlog, talk to camera, but everything else was great. We spent the evenings at the, what was it called? The deck
saloon deck.
Yeah, I think it was the deck saloon, but that was basically the general meeting area, interactions with the guests, and after the meal, a sit down with the crew and a discussion. And I must say that the drinks on the ship, the ones that weren't included, because you got wine with the meal, water, those sort of things, but the ones that weren't included were really good price, weren't they?
They were.
So yeah, it was superb in terms of learning about the history, learning about the wildlife and the encounters on wildlife, as you'll see in subsequent vlogs, were absolutely gorgeous. What wasn't so good for me
and me
was the food
and all the other passengers.
Yeah, and if you look at the Majestic Line's website, they show a superb
fantastic photographs of wonderful food and shellfish and homemade cakes and scones and bread and all the rest of it.
And they regularly post those to social media.
They do.
And that sort of sets our expectation, doesn't it?
And if you follow us for a while, and friends would know, we're big foodies.
Yeah.
And it just did not live up.
It didn't live up to
the hype.
Yeah, it didn't live up to the social media posts that they've made, and it certainly didn't live up to our expectations. And we had 2 guests that had done multiple trips with the Majestic Line. Yeah. One, I think this was her 5th trip. The other one was 2 or 3 trips. And both of them said, without any question, that this level and quality of food was considerably worse than they'd experienced.
In fact, one of them had been on the Glen Tarson 3 or 4 weeks before, I think, and it was a different crew and chef, and it wasn't, that was to the standards that she was expecting. She said she felt really sorry for us all, that it just wasn't anywhere up to the standards that they advertised, really.
And, she showed us some pictures on her phone of the food that she'd had on
the Glen Tarson about 4 weeks previous.
And that wasn't that dissimilar to the shots that were on the social media.
Yeah.
So we felt really, really bitterly disappointed. It It wasn't just one meal. It was virtually every meal.
Yeah.
Not necessarily every dish. There were a couple of dishes that we did think were reasonably good.
Yeah.
You'll see one of those later on in this video.
Yeah.
But there wasn't ever a meal where you thought all of the elements of that meal lived up to the expectation that had been set. In fact, I don't think any of the time that we were on the ship, any of the meals apart from the scallops and smoked salmon,
which we had on the first night,
as a starter, were anything like.
But we didn't have that again.
Yeah. So the reason, I suspect, is because we had a relief chef, but you know, I would have expected the organisation to have a level of operational.
But we should say that we were told they, you know, when you get on the boat, the crew introduced themselves to you, and the chef did say he was a relief chef, and because the chef that's normally on there had gone on holiday to France, so
I think he was French, wasn't he?
Was he French?
Yeah.
The one that was normally on there. So they should have had plenty of time in the height of the season. You know, they should have planned ahead to get a chef that was to the same standard.
And validated and checked. You know.
Made sure.
So that was a real upset for us.
And everybody
else. It was
else.
an upset for everybody else, as you say.
Yeah.
And we felt that we had been significantly less let down.
Yes.
By the Majestic Line because of it. And because of that, we won't recommend the Majestic Line to people that are going that want a product that is consistent, because in our case, it clearly wasn't.
No, so we can't, I'm not going to say it was good when it wasn't.
Yeah, we said we'd be open and honest with you guys. Anyway, when we got off the ship, I think you were going...
I was walking along with another couple, and off came Ken Grant. Ken Grant is one of the co-owners, there's two of them, that own the Majestic Line, and he asked us if we'd had a nice time. So one of us said exactly about the food and how it'd been and all the rest of it, and he did say, I can only apologise, and then he walked off to the Glen Tarson, presumably to ask what was going on, I don't know. So...
well, you were concerned that the relief chef was going to be on there for 2 weeks.
Well, he was going to be on another week, and I think they said that there was one of the passengers in the second week was vegan, and there was a couple of vegetarians as well. Yeah. So what they got to eat, I really don't know.
Because one of the things we get asked before you go on to the Majestic Line is what food you like and what food you don't like.
Yes, exactly.
On quite a few occasions, they served food that was in someone's list of I don't like. Which is fine, but they gave no alternatives. So there was one of the people there who didn't like salmon, and they served smoked salmon on 2 or 3 occasions, but they didn't offer him anything as a replacement for the smoked salmon. He just had a gap where the smoked salmon had been. But anyway, you gave your feedback with the others about what had happened, and we felt so let down that I wrote on the journey back an email to the Majestic Line setting out to them why we were upset about the quality of service that they had provided. 3 weeks later, I had not received a response.
It was over 3 weeks, wasn't it?
No, it's just a tad over 3 weeks, but let's say 3 weeks later, I still hadn't received a response. So I started to chase it. We know that our fellow cruisers had all complained as well. Every single one of the couples had written in with, I expect, a similar level of complaint to ourselves, mainly about the food. And for me, I would have expected, given that Ken Grant had come on board the boat, had a look and had the opportunity to talk to the skipper, opportunity to talk to the chef, he had the opportunity to find out what the problem was at the point in time that we had actually just come off the ship. So I'd have expected a quite quick response. Eventually, after 2 chasing emails, I received a response back, and everybody else
got the same response back.
Yeah. And that was a very weak response in my book. To me, the measure of a company is how it deals with the problems that it experiences. And at no point in time did they really take any real accountability for the fact that there had been problems. They blamed the chef, saying that he was he'd actually had his own interpretation of things. They mentioned that there were problems with training and induction, but they also said that we had preconceived ideas because the chef had said that he was new to the company. Which
no,
is not the case
when
at
he
all.
said he was new, I just thought, okay, the Majestic Line, I trust the Majestic Line have put a chef in place that is equal to the one that was on holiday. So I didn't have any preconceived ideas. That's just a load of rubbish.
And also the 2 that had been there before, they wouldn't have
Yeah,
had
the people that had been
preconceived-
on before, they said they couldn't believe what was being dished up.
So it is what it is, you know. At the end of the day, it would have been really nice if they'd have turned around, given us an apology. Just
straight
said
away,
sorry.
if they'd really just said,
Yeah.
given us a real apology, you know, these things
proper
do happen,
apology.
but a proper apology.
Yeah.
I probably would have thought, okay, you know, accept it, but it just
Yeah.
oh, we're really quite annoyed actually, and quite upset
Quite
actually.
upset.
Yeah.
You know, we spent a long time planning, a long time choosing, and we chose on the basis of the food and the overall experience, and for us the food was missing. So anyway, let's not harp on about it too much time. We did have some great times on the boat, sorry, I keep on calling it a ship. It's not, it's so small, you could hardly call it a ship.
It was great, it was great. And the actual cruising bit was great, you know, and seeing all the little islands and everything. And
Getting on and off in the
tender. And
we had dolphins, you'll see it later,
Yeah,
we had dolphins coming.
footage of dolphins that were, you know, at the front of the bow. We were all standing over and it was raining and we didn't care. And as they were going, there were big, huge dolphins, and some of them were turning up to see if we were, I'm sure, to see if we were actually watching. It was fantastic.
And then all of a sudden they all disappeared. We had that on 2 occasions.
And it's like one of them says, right, we've had enough of that now, let's go, and off they go. But, you know, but it was
we saw puffins. So we had a great experience from that side of things.
Yeah.
2 crew members were absolutely outstanding. Alan
and Brennan.
who's the engineer.
And Brennan.
First time I ever had an engine sort of tour, and he gave us a talk through, took us down to the engine bay.
Yeah.
You'll see that in a later video.
He was great.
The bosun had a really good sense of
Brennan,
view.
he was really good. He was lovely.
And there was nothing wrong with the chef in terms of
No, the
his
chef was,
personality.
let's just say,
Really
the chef
nice
was a really
guy.
nice guy.
This video that we shot today is going to be our embarkation special. It's a unique
Bit
embarkation. I've never done anything like it. The away day, well, we don't really have an away day party. We have a glass of bubbly.
There's no sail away. There's no sail away like they have
away.
on the big ships.
And you're much closer to the waves, and a fishing trawler, these are converted herring trawlers.
The herring or fishing, but anyway.
Yes, herring.
Yeah.
And they're basically designed to list from side to side. That's how
And
that's how they keep upright. But that's quite.
That was
a bit
great.
of room.
That was fine. And doing the room review, that was a bit.
And the room review, you'll see the room review later.
There were actually hysterics over it, but
Yeah.
I don't know if all of that's on the film. I don't know, but
Well, we had to do a few takes because the rocking.
having to hold on for
sides-
dear life. I wasn't.
So you'll see all that side of things. When we left Oban, we went round further north, and actually dropped anchor overnight at a place called Kentallen Bay. Really nice area, very tranquil, and we will take you on that journey to show you what it was like, to show you the ship firsthand, how rocky it was when you're in the open sea and how it actually got a bit calmer as you got further into the loch.
If anybody's an Outlander fan like I am, it's beautiful scenery, just like in Outlander, in the Scottish Highlands, because it is. It's beautiful.
And as they say, Oban is the gateway to the Isles.
Yes, and it certainly was.
Yeah. So
all of that was fantastic and just what we expected. It was just, unfortunately, the food. Yeah.
But come along with us, see the rest of our embarkation day as we now move from Oban to the ship, the Glentarson. So at 4 o'clock we met up at the North Pier pontoons beside a lock gate, and we waited for the skipper to arrive. When he arrived, check-in was super easy. There was no tickets to be produced, we just provided our names, and then when everybody was ready, we went and followed the skipper through the lock gate and down the various walkways to get to the boat. I think I've ever boarded a cruise in such a manner before, but there was always a first time. Right, the ship that we spied from our hotel bedroom first thing in the morning, and the one that we'd observed as we'd walked round the harbour, was the Glentarson.
So we got on the boat. We were given a lovely glass of bubbly, which was very nice, and we all sat down around the table, big, huge table where everybody eats, and the crew all introduced themselves. We were told that the boat is designed so that it, in rough waters it could bounce around a bit, and it was quite rough. We're very lucky, we don't get seasick. Other people, unfortunately, did find it a bit rough, but we were okay with it. So it was good, and it was nice at last to be on the boat and on our way to adventures to come. And this is the lovely deck saloon. Everybody comes together here, and you can play games or read books. Just sit quietly if you want, or have a good old chin wag. It's a lovely place, and you've got double doors at the back where you can go out onto the deck, and you just get marvellous views. And then we went downstairs to see what our cabin was like. Hello, I'm here on the Glentarson, and I'm going to try and do a room review. It's a little bit rough at the moment, so I'm having to hang on. So we've got a twin-bedded room. I don't know if Steve can get out a little bottle of the water. Wait a minute, Steve, it's coming. It's coming. It's splashing over the window. Now, bear in mind, it's a very small ship and there's only about 10 passengers, so the weather's not good, but I'm going to try and do this. So there's lots of hooks all around, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, there's loads of, about 9 hooks all the way around. And we haven't unpacked yet because we can't. They've got there's the hairdryer in. There's a hairdryer in there. And some hangers. I'm doing my best. So yes. That's the wardrobe. You can fit your suitcases underneath the bed. And this is an emergency exit here. And in here is the shower, toilet in here. So in the shower is bath and bath and shampoo. What do you call it, for God's sake? Shower gel and shampoo and conditioner. You know, ship. And there's also hand soap. And there's a bin. And a toilet. Oh, okay, that's covered underneath here. So, and a mirror. Oh, what do you want, really? I am looking forward to this, but it's just a little bit rough at the moment. So, and yeah, oh, come down. And yeah, so a little bit compact. Oh, and mints. And there's I just grabbed this. You get your cruise journal and a pen. And I just noticed, I don't know if you can see, these are Harris tweed, these throws on the bed. Harris tweed. Like that. So, yeah.
And television?
No television. So, I just have to contemplate things. Or have rapid sex, I don't know. Rapid or rampid? Rapid or rampid?
Be quite rapid.
Anyway, we'll just have a good cuddle. Yeah. So that's what it is. So I'm looking forward to a nice comfy bed, I think. And probably hard.
And how's the bed test out?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to firmish, but alright, I think. We'll let you know tomorrow. I've had a night's sleep. So, do you think it's getting a bit calmer now? Because I can stand up straight now without holding on. It's quite high.
And what are your thoughts on this?
My thoughts at the moment are, I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be really, really good. And I think we're really going to enjoy it. It's just a bit choppy at the moment, but when he said when he got a bit further up, I've forgotten to where he said, then they'll drop anchor and we'll have dinner, and that's where we'll be for the night. And it won't be like this, so because it's all sheltered where he's going, so hopefully it'll be good. So I think we'll just go and get to know our fellow passengers a bit more now. Maybe have a drink. We've had one already.
I guess we're now in Loch Linnhe, which obviously provides a level of shelter from the open sea and was a lot calmer.
I'm more interested about what you're doing with the napkins, actually. Oh, right. Well, you might have to show me how to do that.
Start. Plate. That's good. You got like the tongue. Not that this way. We'll work again.
Okay.
So. Yeah. 3.
We'll be able to do this one, yeah.
What, that's done. Yeah. So, that's yeah. Nice piece too. Give them a call. Yeah, that's pretty good. Oh, yeah.
It's not as good as yours.
First time.
This little boat that is being dragged along behind us is our tender boat and will be used on every single stop that we're going to make on this cruise. A first for us. And the one thing I think we immediately noted is how absolutely beautiful this area of the country is. The isles, as you go through them, are green, they're craggy, you've got individual buildings standing on what is effectively a really, really small island. The whole scenery is superb, and then you spot occasional castles as you go through. Absolutely beautiful. For some completely unknown reason, Joanne didn't fancy recreating that Jack and Rose moment from the Titanic bow. So this is very representative of what we see in the area, little clusters of buildings that you think are miles from anywhere. They're probably holiday homes, and there's probably a main road just behind them, but it's still lovely to think about that level of solitude against the backdrop of the Isles. And we've just arrived at our mooring location for the night. Time to drop anchor. In the deck saloon, which was the main communal area where we met and ate, was 2 screens, and they were absolutely fascinating. One showed our location against the geography, and the other was the Doppler radar. So this starter was probably the best dish that we had on the cruise. The venison that followed it was overcooked. It should have been medium rare and pink in the middle, and it tasted like liver. Here ends our first day, and we have done some travelling up from Oban to Kentallen Bay, and this map illustrates it superbly, complete with Dad's Army style graphics.